Yep.
G'day guys, here we are. We're down at Golf Central tonight and we have the Callaway Epic on in our hand. CF17 Callaway Epic. Now, I'm going to talk about price. We never talk about price. I'm not going to harp on price. It's the most expensive thing out there in regards to the bigger brands, apart from say PXG, and then you start going into your Japanese brands and stuff like that.
Yep.
Over here you're looking at 360 bucks an iron.
Yep. What is it compared to the Big Bertha iron? Because
it's cheap. Well, it's more expensive, but it's like the Big Bertha iron, but not quite as chunky. But it comes off the face just as fast as the Big Bertha iron, and all that stuff in like a slightly smaller unit.
Yeah. So it's got that little, how would you say, condensed version of the.
It does look a lot like the Big Bertha. It's got a couple like the EXO cage, like a jailbreak sort of thing going on there. But I'm going to read the specs from the website because there's a lot. Well, I mean, it's again all these fancy names that are all doing basically the same thing. But next generation 360 face cup technology for longer average distance. EXO cage for maximum energy leasing, and maximum COR. Metal injected, molded, tungsten infused, standing, wave to optimize CG locations and premium shaft offerings. And as you see in the cutaways, in the close-ups there, it's a cup face. It has a standing wave which actually gets CG in the right spot and all that stuff. Basically, it's a super fast iron. It goes a mile, and that's what it's designed for. Strong lofts and all of that.
I can't believe you couldn't remember that off the top of your head.
No, I mean I can't either. But actually,
so this is the first time I've seen it. It doesn't look too bad. It reminds me of in those categories. So the M2,
correct.
The Big Bertha.
Yeah.
So like you said, a little tight, little bit smaller package.
To me, it's a smaller package than the Big Bertha.
Yep.
It probably is doing the very similar thing.
Yep.
Biggest thing is it does feel that little bit better. Okay, so let's say with the Steelheads and Steelhead Pros and stuff, they've got a really loud sort of echoey sort of a noise, especially indoors. I find this to be a little bit less of that, but not quite like the Apex. So the Apex is actually not too bad. Like I mean, this goes a little further for me than the Apex, but it's a little bit louder. Then it goes the Apex, then it goes the Epic Pro, then it goes the Apex Pro. In regards to how they look and stuff like
two
that.
models, doesn't it?
Yeah, so the Epic and then the Epic Pro, which we don't have here at the moment, but I've mucked around with the Epic Pro. Certainly does look that little bit sleeker to look at from the top.
Yep.
And it does feel a little bit more like I suppose a better player's iron. It's not quite as loud, or it's not quite as high pitched. It's actually pretty good. The Epic Pro is not so bad. This is massive game improving, or quite massive game improving.
Yep.
Basically the Big Bertha in a smaller package.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Exactly. Now that's 7 irons 30 degrees, so it's the same as my 6 iron.
Yeah.
Now I was hitting this thing hard the other day in the net and was getting kind of 190-ish meters carry. Like that's hitting it really hard. I'd never really be doing that, but so my 6 iron carrying 190, I don't think I could do that. Maybe not. I'd have to hit it bloody hard or bloody good. So the only issue I have with this thing is my numbers. It's a bit low in spin. Launch is pretty high. Comes with the face really fast. Doesn't spin that much and just moves forward. So if you want to have a hit, mate, then you tell me what you think. But I suppose that's the interesting thing, or that's where some of these brands just go to strong lofts, low CGs. You tend to get the high launch, quick ball speed, not a whole lot of forgiveness, even though it is very forgiving. Some other companies are making lower CG, a little bit further away from the face, same as their drivers, which tend to get the ball to be a little bit more forgiving. It tends to have a bit more spin, but it's not just about making it really strong loft and, you know, not getting the decent angle. So that's the thing. On launch monitors, people get these in a retail store or even any sort of fitting environment, and it's 7 iron versus 7 iron versus 7 iron, and that one goes the longest. It launch higher, it carries further, it lands steeper, but the spin is potentially where you start playing around with a little bit, and then you start getting like a massive gaps towards the lower end of your clubs. So
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Not too bad.
stand over here.
I'll come over this way. You hit a couple, mate. Yeah, no, it feels good coming off the club base. It's, I mean, I'm not too sure exactly compared to.
Like, it goes a long way. Like I said, like
Yeah.
if I was to swing that, if I was to swing this normal and my 6-iron normal, which I have, this thing goes a little bit further. It comes to face a little bit faster, even though the shaft's a tad shorter. It's the same loft. It just moves faster. The only thing is spin.
Yep.
So that's it's the only thing that I kind of dislike about it. But for higher spin players, it's great.
Yeah.
Like, dare I say, like the tailor-made golf ball.
Yep.
For a higher spin iron player, the TP5 balls are fantastic.
Yep.
For like myself, who's a lower spin player with irons, you just start getting things that come out like 4 irons.
Yep.
See if I can't hit one kind of hard and see what happens. Like, seriously, that's probably going 170 something, probably over 170 with a 7-iron.
Yep.
And again, I know it's 6-iron loft.
Yeah, and
this has its place in the market, even for the price. People want to buy it. People want to buy it. It doesn't matter.
Yep. Oh, look, I agree.
So I've never spoken to you about the price of these things. So this is the first time you've heard $360 a club.
Yep.
Do you care?
If I really wanted them, probably not.
No, and that's the thing. So if you really want it, you get it.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you don't want to get it, you don't get it.
Pretty well. Look.
Put it this way: if you're going to go to say the Steelhead, if you want to stay in the Callaway stuff, you go to the Steelhead. There's hundreds of dollars off per club.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound different, does feel a little bit different, but that's about it. Like, it's still going to do the same thing at the end, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, look. Irons are one of those things, aren't they? Once you feel comfortable with the set and you know what they're doing, look, that's why very few people change their irons as often as other clubs.
Correct.
But
irons and wedges stay in the bag for quite a while compared to, say, a driver or potentially a putter.
Yeah. Yep.
The long and the short of it.
Yeah, pretty well. But if you look at it, because you know those distances. Yeah. Like, I know as soon as this is 7-iron, this is a 5-iron, this is a... And I suppose it's very hard then to go to something, because it took me a while to get used to my car irons. Because of that same reason, you suddenly go,
that's a bit further.
I'm flying every green.
Yeah.
But, you know, for anyone that hasn't upgraded for quite a few years, there is certainly a heap of options in the market.
Correct.
To go and hit. And the same thing. And for some, dare I say, some older gentlemen that are maybe struggling with a little bit of length, there is a market for these type of clubs. Yeah,
price-wise could put a lot of people out of the market.
Excuse me.
But it doesn't matter, like, and that's what we're saying. There's other clubs out there, whether it be from Callaway or other brands, that you can use that are going to do the same thing. If you want a Callaway Epic, get a Callaway Epic. If you want a Callaway Steelhead, get a Callaway Steelhead. If you want another brand, do the same thing. They're going to do the same thing. These are, like I said, there's 30 degrees.
You can't afford it. There are some other clubs
what I'm saying.
That will fall into that market.
There's all the game improving clubs they're all quite strong and lofted. They're easier to launch. They're very forgiving. They're all going to do a very similar thing. This is probably a slightly better feeling version of.
It does.
Let's say the Steelhead, which I know Steelhead's a lot cheaper, but this just feels a lot better. If that's what you're going to pay for, great.
It does feel nice coming off the club.
Exactly. That's what I'll give it. For a game improving club where most of them tend to feel a little bit clunky and loud, this is not quite as loud. There you go. Callaway Epic irons, guys. Go check them out and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Too easy, guys.
Beautiful.
We'll see you next time.